Hey, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Hey guys, today, kind of a follow-up from yesterday's talk about complaining in social media and how we see that kind of play out in comments. So we talked about and kind of teased the idea that we're going to talk about having a social media triage plan in place. So really what it boils down to is, as we continue to promote and engage using various social media platforms, it's important as a business or organization really to make sure that when someone makes a comment, whether it's positive or negative, that you have a plan in place. And this is really important whether you are a solo practitioner or a small business with 4 to 6 employees, or if you're a medium-sized business with 20 plus employees. This is really important to have. And today, as I talk about this social media triage, we actually have a document that we provide to our clients that is really inspired by this talk. And I'm going to put a link to this PDF document so you guys can download it and have a copy of it for yourself. So let's jump right into it. So, whether it's Facebook or whether it's Twitter, or Instagram or whatever the case may be, if you put a post up and someone makes a comment, obviously the first step that you need to do is to determine whether it's positive or not. So let's go down the route if it's not positive. So I think the first thing that we want to do is look to see and analyze, is there a problem? Is something wrong? And in doing so, we need to make sure that we analyze that. And if in fact there's something going on, we need to make sure that we notify the right people in the organization. So if it's a service related issue or if it's a sales related issue, we need to notify the right person in sort of the chain of command, if you will, so that the right department gets the information that a comment has been made. And then sort of the next question is that person unhappy, yes or no? If no, then we really need to evaluate, is the person complaining or criticizing? And if they're not, then is the person just joking or sort of making a satirical comment, And if that's the case, then really we're going to boil it down to, we really just needed to monitor that particular comment. It really doesn't, require, immediate action. However, you do want to make, recognition, whether it's, a laugh, a smile, or whatever response to that. Now, if we go back to and we realize that, yes, they are unhappy, then really we need to do some fact checking. And fact checking could involve, going back to the person, whether, again, if it was, service related or product related, we go back to the person that was specifically involved with that particular customer experience. And really sort of the two outcomes for that is, once you do gather those facts, you either are going to try to resolve that issue or you're going to try to inform them. But either way, one of the most important things when dealing with or providing customer service through social media, you do want to show and provide a quick response to them, but ultimately you really want to kind of guide that conversation to take place through a phone call or through an in-person visit, because again, if you demonstrate that you take social media comments seriously as opposed to just running and hiding from them, you're demonstrating to other people what kind of customer service policy you have. But you really don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of the particular issue out in the open on the social media. So, you really want to, because not all complaints can be corrected, but you want to try to make sure that you rectify the situation and let them know what's being handled. And so that's a great response when we're talking about it. The other thing is to, make sure that you have that open conversation. If you're trying to inform them, make sure that you have an open conversation, and that accuracy is important. Correct any inconsistencies and try to give the most up-to-date or correct information. And that's important because, let's say someone thought it was a sales price and it wasn't. It is important that maybe other people have the same, experience. And so by commenting and making sure that the accurate information is part of the comment to that person, you may answer someone else's question. So that's sort of going down the flow chart, if you will, of if someone makes, a negative or not really a positive comment. And ultimately, you want to make sure you notify the person, the right people. You really want to make sure that you check the facts, and ultimately you're either going to monitor the situation, try to resolve it, or inform them of whatever the accurate information is. So let's go to the other side of the potential comment. What if it's a positive comment? I think a lot of times people, businesses, and organizations undervalue when people like or make positive comments. They don't reciprocate that. They don't acknowledge that. So I think that's really the first thing to do, is to acknowledge it, and then also look to see if there's an opportunity to add value on top of that positive comment. Reinforce if it's a product benefit of your service that you have, and thank them obviously for their comment. You always want to reinforce positive messages and give feedback, as well as maybe link to other resources on your website, whether it's product or service related. But at the end, you really want to engage. This is a great opportunity. Someone is obviously your fan. They've given you, a positive comment, and you want to engage with them because, more often than not, it's negative comments. So when you get a positive one, you really need to take advantage of it. And responding to those positive comments, you really allow, again, your potential customers and current customers, for them to see that you take social media as a communication channel, no different than if someone were to email in or if someone were to call your organization, that you take that seriously. So again, the whole idea here is to make sure that you have in place. And one of the great things about having a document like this, in a flow chart, is to sit down with your team members and talk to them about, listen guys, we're on social media, people are talking about and engaging with our brand, and they're specifically related to the products or services that you guys are offering, and so let everyone know in the organization that you have a process. And so when you come to them and you let them know, hey, someone made a comment on them, on our post, that they're a part of this process too, and that they are, know how to give the person the correct response, that is, responsible for responding in social media if they're not directly doing it. So again, these are great ideas to have a social media triage in place for your business, whether you're a sole proprietorship, a small business, or a medium-sized business. Have a social media triage. And I'm gonna upload this PDF to the blog post that's gonna be on there. So if you, I'll put a link here. For those listening on our podcast, you can go to rboa.com/blog. Look for the social media triage post that'll be posted for today, and you can grab the link to download the PDF. Guys, thank you so much for your time today. My name is Michael Wynn. I am the Chief Digital Officer at Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.